Special Issues Committee, August 21st, 23. Roll call, Counselor Smith,
Here.
Counselor Gear,
Here.
Counselor Alleman,
Here.
Counselor Sims,
Here.
and Counselor Andrews.
Here. All five of us. All right. Can I get a motion to dismiss with the reading of the minutes and approve them?
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mr. Almond, second from Ms. Andrews. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
5-0. That is passed. Okay, no old business, new business. 070823, request for permission to vacate the Irving Frisco alley right of way. Kills.
Thank you. So Mecca and Irving, 924 is here and here, 922 is here and here, and 920 is here and here. So the person that owns this lot also owns this lot. The issue came up when 924 came to us for a building permit and wanted to screen in an existing porch. And before we issue building permits, we check and make sure that there's not a zoning lot, which is basically two lots owned by the same person that are adjacent to each other. And these are treated like a zoning lot. They've been parceled into one parcel, 920, 22, and 24 have. But he's got an accessory structure on this other lot. We then realized that there's right-of-way that splits the middle of them. And so that's what we're proposing to vacate. We met with Mr. Kendrick about the easiest way to do it, and it makes the most sense for us, for the city to vacate the right-of-way through here.
Okay, so the houses that are down on this side of the yellow line, that is also their property above that line.
That's right. Well, yeah, 920, 22, and 24.
Just those three, but
That's right.
in that case, our city right of way is splitting through the middle of those
That's
two
correct.
pieces. Got it, okay. All right.
I have a question, Cal. So why would it necessarily be easier? What's the reason that we have to vacate the 909 back to Mecca?
Well, if we didn't, then we would be, and we did vacate this, then we would be left with landlocked right-of-way.
There's no ingress or egress, but
What would be the difference than what we have now?
Well, so now there's
You can't.
public right-of-way here.
all the way to the street.
So you can go from Irving into here, into there.
That-
I mean, technically you can't,
come all the way through.
but there is connectivity through rights.
You
through
would have a
right-of-way.
vacant, you had an alley that could go nowhere if you vacated both ends. It's hard to
Okay.
vacate on what street?
On the Mecca side.
That's correct.
Okay, so on the Mecca side, it's stopping there. It's not going all the way to Mecca, right?
Correct.
Because that's already been, that was done
That was vacated
5 or
several
6 years
Already
ago.
vacated.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just, they're just not showing us.
And we're not,
chance
we're
we're
not,
gonna have to
we're not
do-
running any trucks through there or anything. It's just a,
No, Brian's got the street view of what it looks
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
from the alley. So this is from the alley side. They already treat it, this is it, this is the alley.
okay.
Yeah.
So they already treat it like it's their backyard
Oh.
anyway.
Got it.
Are they buying that from us, and are we putting this up for public hearing, just like we
Right.
would a regular?
There will be a public hearing, there won't be any financial consideration.
Why would there not be?
Because it's the city that's proposing to vacate the right of way.
Right, they're not asking us to do it. We're asking them to essentially, Kale's asking us to do it.
But they built structures in the right of way?
Yep.
So.
Well, I don't know if they have structures in, technically, I don't think this accessory structure is in the right of way, but it's.
There you
it's
are.
not
They've
far
taken
from it.
over our
Right.
alley.
Somehow they've got the Jefferson County to parcel the parcels together across the right of way,
Right.
which is weird.
I mean, it was probably existed
So
that
it's
way,
one
I would
parcel.
guess,
Yep.
for a long time. Okay.
So it's a motion then to send out that recommendation pending public
Okay.
hearing?
That we'll
We
also
have,
have
we
to send.
have some neighbors that might want to.
Oh.
Hey, I'm Thomas Humphries, this is my wife Cindy, we live at 917 Frisco, so on up the hill, other side. And we disagree, we don't want the alley vacated, we're already in a pretty limited access spot as it is up on Frisco, I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with that area.
Yeah.
But taking any access away, even something as unimproved as it is like this, is something we don't
vacation resolution cities adopt, we don't have the authority to take away utilities rights. It's existing at the time of vacation.
So it seems like it would make it, more difficult for the utilities to get in, if we, so I guess first of all, this alleyway here, is this, the property itself, is it city owned?
All right of ways owned by the city.
that's our.
Yeah, it's owned by, that right of way is owned by the city.
So what
Okay.
happens if it gets vacated?
But this one that's on the picture
We
is not
adopt a
what we're talking
resolution
about.
of
That's
Right, so
vacation.
the one off to the left.
That's really not.
Oh, is this not the right one?
Well,
It's
go
cuts,
above
it cuts to the
it.
left.
Go-
up there.
Okay.
Go
It's
above
this
it,
way.
there's no
Yeah.
alley, just do that above picture that shows the yellow line.
The aerial? Okay.
Cause that's Irving
Right there, the green yellow line,
That's-
and there's
that's-
really no alley there, right?
Yeah.
It's just property, it's people's
Yeah.
You're right.
yards. And I've actually pulled, Jefferson County parcel lookup GIS and kind of made some annotations. I don't know if you want me to pass that out, or I can email it to put it up on the screen.
So where are y'all, so you're,
Yeah, or on the.
Yeah,
where are y'all on the?
Yeah, Barry goes on it.
917 is there.
Okay, gotcha. So essentially,
So it,
so what y'all, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, no.
that's why I did this map, because I think this, doesn't really give us a great full picture of what all we have going on in this area. I mean, we on Frisco Street, in this map that we're showing here, and on the map that I pulled, the road dead ends, right before the 909 Frisco Street. It's actually a 3-lot parcel. And I put my disclaimer on here, y'all. This is just, best of my knowledge, this is obviously just rough and precise, but just to try to make some notes, to sort of better explain all of this. You can see Frisco Street, we're right beside the middle school, but I'm sure, most of y'all know there's kind of a drop there between our road, Frisco Street, and the middle school. So Frisco Street currently extends to, what is 913 Frisco Street, and just dead ends there. And then past that, you can see there are actually 3 lots currently for sale. At that 907, there are 3 lots there, that are individually for sale currently. And then, I'm sorry.
And then 920, 922, and 924, how do they access? They access off St. Charles?
They have
Irving?
Irving
No, they come
access,
off
and plus they
Irving
can go down that alley that, is at
Okay.
the bottom, not the alley that is.
Not the alley that's
at
under
issue here,
discussion,
yeah.
okay, gotcha.
And that's sort of I know I've seen the survey sort of designation for lots that are under, common owner. And this is not exactly that, but that's what I'm trying to show with this sort of, curve, sort of half parenthetical.
Yeah.
Is that those are the only lots
That
in
are
this
like-
area that the, sort of the Irving Road owner is the same as the Frisco Street owner. The rest of us all have differing ownership, from Irving's side, right, to Frisco Street side.
Got it.
So you're
Okay.
saying lot 900 and 921,
Separate owners.
No, 920, 922, and 924. Those are the 3 that are attached to the properties below them. And that, whatever that is, that
The
big thing
alley
right
net-
between.
The unoccupied alley run through is mainly just is utility easement,
Yeah.
is all that's through there.
What now, I'm sorry?
I said mainly of the alley behind, in between that you're talking about is mainly a utility easement.
At this time, I think part of the reason these things, and it's significant that this was on a recorded plat. This was here when everything started.
Yeah.
It's there to preserve the public interest, in case something comes up where it would be needed. I'm not aware of a public interest in vacating this lot, all I've heard are private interests.
Well, what you've heard is there's no current public need for that alley.
Current, but it's preserved for future use.
You're right about that. Can be, or it can be vacated.
But
We already vacated the front part of that, 921, 900.
We weren't living here at the time.
And
Well,
does that
somebody
run,
was.
does that run out into, can you get from the part that's vacated, can you get onto the street from there?
To Mecca?
Yeah,
No, ma'am.
okay, it is.
That's vacated and the property owners
closed it off.
921, I don't know if it's closed off, but they own it technically.
Right.
The city doesn't own it, so there's no public right of way.
And Mr. Greer purchased that years ago.
Okay.
What was the what was the purpose of, at the time, you know?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Did they purchase it? Do you remember?
The
So,
site's
yes,
consideration of about
yes.
$8,000.
They- Yeah, I think it's.
Yeah, he purchased it.
I think that was done in, 2005,
Walter
that
would know.
vacation.
I was here.
Well, my question is, like, for the lots that are for sale at 907, how do they propose that people would get to them?
Access.
2907?
Yeah, if the road is closed.
So the city council has granted permission to extend the road to the end of 907 on Frisco Street.
In the last year or so.
That's right.
So those lots are owned by a gentleman named Chase Fisher, who I believe has spoken to the council before with issues related to that property, and they're for sale currently, but they weren't, not long ago, and he explored different options for extending the road.
Okay, well, and my question is, because the owner of 920 and 922, I know y'all said 924 actually has some sort of accessory structure over there on his portion of that property. With 920 and 922, what if they decided to sell their lots? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, what if they?
Well, they got access to her. Oh, you're saying sell the back lot?
Yeah, the back part.
That's true.
Can they get to that from the drive that takes you along to the middle school?
No.
Uh-uh.
But as I understand, those are now one lot.
They are, but
So
I mean, I
we
assume.
wouldn't sell them.
Well, I mean, I assume, because you were saying that you're really not supposed to do that to begin with.
What, I'm sorry.
They're not supposed to have two lots that are separated anyway, right?
Right.
So technically,
Well, we treat them as zoning owners as one lot, because they're owned by
Same person.
owners.
But I'm really unclear about that idea of them being parceled together and now they're one lot. Is that what you're saying?
yeah. And it-
So, what I understand is the idea of a parcel and like a parcel number would be the Department of Revenue's just identification number, and
That's exactly right.
It's tax.
so,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand that to have any legal effect to join lots together.
They
I mean,
haven't been
that's-
resurveyed together.
Right, that's true. But if you were to own, for example, this 924 and this 924, and you wanted to build a house on it, then you would be required to resurvey those two lots into one lot.
But you don't
Sure,
have,
but
but they
that's-
don't have to do it for 20,
that's-
22, and 24 like that? They don't have to do that?
Well, that's so these,
Separate.
they can't be resurveyed into one lot because there's an alley that runs between
We
them.
own the property in between.
So, you're right, okay, so theoretically, if we were to give them this vacation, then they would have to come back to the city and be reparceled into one parcel?
Resurvey.
Resurveyed.
Resurveyed?
Well, I mean, they don't, if 920 and 922 don't ever intend to do anything, they can leave them separate two lots. But like 924 is gonna wanna do this small addition, and
Well,
so.
but that's my point.
He would
If
be
we vacate it and 920 and 922 decide, you know what, I don't need that crap, I'm gonna sell it like number 907 is doing.
That's right.
And cash in on the thing.
And they can do that.
Right, but then, so then really we've just vacated the right of way for one property, I don't know.
And I mean, I think
I don't know.
similarly, I would imagine that the 924 Irving, 924 Frisco, I assume those could be resplit. I mean, that happens, right?
Oh, you
If
split
they
it
were
back
to
out, but
sell
he has a
them,
structure.
relocate them.
Well, I mean, if they wanted to at some point.
Well,
but I
yeah,
guess,
yeah,
you know,
right.
that's sort of this idea with vacating alley, I think that we really should look at is, it's not just things as they currently are, or
How they should
someone's
be.
current use, but for the future and what the needs might be in the future as well. And so, you know, I do think,
Cause I will say, if I owned that property and I knew how much people were paying for, I'd sell it in a second. I'd split it up and sell it if I were smart. Just saying. And then I'd want some streets, I'd wanna be able to put a garage back there so that when I develop that house, somebody wants to buy it, cause it has a garage.
So
They can
one of the
access
things my
all
wife
this.
was pointing out, which I think is, with the chart she made, which I think is being highlighted here, is what we've got is pretty narrow as it is. That's like, once it gets up to the top, it's pretty much a one-lane road. And so it's tough for us to lose any property interest, access interest at this point.
That's the top.
Yeah, and so Kel, this didn't come, the property owners at 924, 922, and 920, they didn't ask for this,
That's true.
so
They just ask, 924 asked for a building permit.
To basically build across or into the. what is
Nope,
currently
not
the
even to
line.
do that.
Just to build over
Just to
there.
build, yep.
To build over the alley?
Nope,
No,
just
no,
to
no.
build, just
Just to
to.
build on that other property.
No. So if we don't
But-
approve vacation, then what happens to 924 and the structure that's on 924?
I'm not sure.
So what is it specifically, I'm not clear about the permitting that is, you know, sort of the catalyst for this idea of vacating the right of way? I mean, is it a impervious area issue?
Is it because they
or
have
what's
the accessory
So,
structure
yeah,
that's already in the right of way?
Do you wanna see the survey of 924 with the 2 lots? Would that help? Cause I think some people think that their carport is on, either in that alley that we're proposing to vacate.
No, it's on a separate lot, right?
Yeah, it's on, so
Yeah,
there's 2
so we have
lots.
an accessory structure on a separate lot, which is non-conforming
It doesn't have anything to do with.
with the
request to
project.
vac- Yeah, we didn't ask
Right.
to request to vacate.
That's right.
But technically, they can't build what they wanna build on that separate space, or can they?
They can add on to their house, can't they?
No, they can't get a building permit
It's
because,
considered a zoning lot, they can't get a building permit until they.
because we considered it, they're using it like a zoning lot.
So we're
basically.
saying, he cannot get a building permit to do what they wanna do unless we do this, but it's really for that,
Or the alternative is that the homeowners go to Jefferson County.
and get it resurveyed.
Have to have something.
No.
Not
you
get it
have to resurvey
resurveyed,
it.
just go back to 2 separate lots, cause they've I think really they've homesteaded
Here's
2
the
lots and
problem.
they're only living on one.
You're right about that, that's correct, but that's a revenue problem more than it is. For 924, those 2 lots, there's a garage built on the back lot closest to Frisco. And that's an accessory structure for the house built on the front lot on Irving Road. You can't have an accessory structure that's not on your property, it's not accessory if it's on the same lot. So technically, that's where I think Gail.
We got hung up,
they
yeah.
came
That
up with
building
it.
permit.
Well, and so my question, yes, so how did they get that permit to do it to begin with?
Oh, that's a
They did.
question for somebody else.
Thank you, that is not my problem.
So,
And it may have been there for 50
924
years, I don't think.
front, the Frisco 924 is a separate lot from the Irving 924.
It is in the subdivision.
Yeah, because.
They have a system for revenue
Alley
purposes
between.
as one lot, is what.
Yeah,
Yep.
that doesn't mean.
What do you mean assisted for revenues purposes? Are you saying?
You're saying for taxes.
But I mean,
That's-
I'm unclear, are we saying they have a parcel
They get
number
one tax
together?
notice for both lots instead of
Yeah.
2 tax
Yeah,
notices.
and they get a homestead exemption.
That confuses people, but it's not, I mean, that happens more than
I
you
mean, I
know.
don't think I
It-
would
it-
Doesn't have anything to do
but
with
I
what's
just-
really actual lots.
If they own 2 lots separately, they're gonna only be able to homestead one, and then they're gonna have to pay 2.5 times the taxes on the second lot. But for tax purposes, they've consolidated that into one lot for tax purposes.
But we're saying like.
So they're
I
getting a
think
tax
that's
break
just
on
a
having.
revenue issue, I mean, as I understand it with this idea of parceling together with revenue, is they should have been actually, touching to be parceled together, is that correct?
Yep, I would agree with you.
Yes, and so I guess that was an error on their part to not recognize that there was a right of way.
That's right.
An alley there.
Jefferson County does what?
That's tax assessment
So,
law.
Yep.
right, so, you know, I mean, I don't understand that to have the legal effect of joining those lots together.
The legal effect is they can't have an accessory structure on a separate lot.
Well,
Absolutely, I would agree.
so here's my question then, here's another question, I swear, we're gonna be here all night. If they were to, if the homeowner were to go to Jefferson County and say, okay, we wanna make this 2 lots, then they end up having to pay taxes on both those lots. But can they leave the accessory structure on that other lot? They cannot, cause it's not the main
It's not
structure.
accessory.
Right, it's not accessory.
It's not accessory to anything, cause there's nothing else
Is it
there.
a grandfathered in thing that's been there so long? Just
Yeah,
illegal?
do we know that? I mean, is it?
I'm sure it's been there a
That's
long
never
time.
been a
It's
thing.
not that old.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
not
that's
old.
never been in the
It's not.
code. That's
This
not.
924 Irving was, redone, not too many completely redone.
And then the garage went up at that same
And
time?
I believe the garage came a little bit later, is that your recollection maybe? I'm not sure if they were concurrent, but I mean, the whole, the sort of, whole renovation has not been that long ago. So that, garage structure that is there, our carport, I'm not sure exactly what it is, it's not that
It's
old.
relatively new.
I guess I'm just,
Yeah.
I guess I'm just saying, I don't know, I don't know. I don't understand us giving up property, which I understand we've already vacated the other side. I guess I just don't understand doing it for one person, not making any money off of it, and I just don't understand. I'm not on the committee, so, oh, I am on the committee, it's my committee. I thought we were still in public works.
You're the chair of the committee, you're supposed to have the answer.
I've been here a long time. I mean, listen, my
Well, the
answer
thing
is, I
of it
don't
is,
understand why we're doing it.
you still, regardless if you do that or not, you can't take utilities and they've got to be able to get
No,
to
no,
them.
right,
I
they
mean,
still gotta be able to
regardless
get
if you
down
do it,
there.
they still gonna be able to get down there.
Right, yeah, no, I
and
know
do it.
that.
The
So-
law is clear, that a vacation of an alley by a city doesn't vacate.
That's correct.
utilities.
Right, no, yeah, no, I know they still, I mean, we can't take away
I mean,
anybody's ability to
You,
get to
you
their
put the stuff on there and they have to get in there and dig it up.
Yeah.
That's part of it, but you
And
can't
another
exclude them from
question
getting in
on
there.
Does your concern have to do with the 907 lots? Is there anything, are you concerned with that at all?
No, our lot backs up to this alleyway, we'd like to keep access to it. We
Won't
believe
you
we have
still
property
have
rights
access?
related to that right of way.
Well, but it won't be public right away anymore. It'll be private
That's the only
property.
thing that changes, it won't be public.
But
right away.
you don't use that, you don't get to the alley, do you?
Well, part of the
Yes,
reason
they
is there's fences built.
They
in
don't,
the alley.
they
And
don't, there's no
a-
way to get through there.
I mean, I can walk
They
through
can walk
this.
through it, they
But
said.
You
you
can walk
can-
through there.
I can walk,
But-
Yeah, they said they can walk
it's
through
just
it.
not approved.
Well, I mean, we're not entirely clear of where those,
Lines are.
property lines are for the alley, so, for certain, but, it's our estimation that at least it's there, but,
Your concern is related to the utilities.
Yeah, which most of
access.
Homewood has
I
been.
mean, I think there's a lot that
Yes.
alleys are supposed to.
Majority of them have been.
Future rights, I think they give you. I mean, for instance, views, okay, so if you give somebody 5 more feet of property, 10 more feet of property, they can build a structure that much more close to my house. It could be 2 levels that can impact the view. I mean, these are public rights, and we have an interest in them, and I just don't think that putting a porch on 924 justifies vacating the whole alley.
I would know too from our neighbors too.
I will say you can't legislate if you can't dictate if they do. I mean, to your point.
well, but, I mean, we're just, sort of saying, but, I mean, I think that's one benefit of an alley or right of way is it acts sort of as this built-in buffer for us all, and I mean, especially, in this area, I think, space can get tight, so, I think that's one benefit of the alley. I mean, we would like to be able to have a walking path down to, the St. Charles, sort of down that way. But that's just never been an option for
There
us.
are fences up,
Hey, we
landscaping.
like it, yes,
So they're
but-
acting like there's no.
Hey, guys,
alley
come on a
there.
sec. Mike,
3 of them are.
how far out would the public hearing have to be?
October the 9th,
It would not be until October the 9th?
yeah, you'd have to publish in paper 3 weeks in a row consecutively, and you have to give notice to every property owner that touches the alley within more than 30 days from the public hearing.
Okay, have we talked to any of the other neighbors around here? Have y'all talked to
No.
any other neighbors around here?
Yes, well,
At least one.
yes,
Okay.
yes. Our neighbor at 913, I mean, she, is, does, as currently, as far as I think she, the information she has, she doesn't, like the idea of vacating because, both of us, and I gave him the diagram to show, but we both actually, our sanitary
So, I know you said the public hearing wouldn't be until October 9th, but since this is a city, request and not, on a timeline of an individual, I would be in favor of carrying this over just to possibly get more feedback, because we could save possibly the cost of noticing it even, right?
If we decide
If
we're not
we
doing
get a
it.
little bit more information in 2 weeks, yeah.
I am, and Walter said basically the same thing, cause it is kind of a complex issue. So if everybody's cool with it, what we would do is carry this over here, and then we can get some more information. I'm gonna go out. I'd like to go out there.
Sure.
I like to go out and see stuff.
Yeah.
Cause it doesn't make sense to me until I
Wear
look
your
at it most of the time. Oh, heck yeah, man, I'm gonna put on my boots.
Well, start here in the alley.
Okay.
In this alley that you can get to off Irving,
Right.
and then, yeah.
Okay.
Well, she's not gonna be able to go up those, cause they fenced the alley there.
Right,
You know,
right,
so-
924
Probably
treats
better-
this as one property, 922 treats it as one property, and so does 920.
Probably better coming to our side.
The Frisco,
You
Mecca
can
side.
walk- You can walk down and get a better view.
Okay, alright. Okay, so without any, we're gonna carry this over. We'll get more information, so when we come back on the 11th, because we're gonna have to move meetings to the 11th for Labor Day. Everybody try to get out there and take a look
Hey, Barry,
and.
I
see
was
what-
just gonna ask,
Yeah.
if the committee decides to drop it or whatever else, or doesn't,
Vacate it, yeah.
then will the property owner at that point be requesting it? I guess, it sounds like they're kind of in a lurch, because
I mean,
they're,
well,
the whole,
that'll be a.
the whole issue is generated based on applied
I mean, that's really.
building permits.
Well,
I
we'll
mean,
get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to
Okay.
that. I mean, that's not, I'm not rushing because they wanna build something. That's just not necessarily my biggest concern.
Yeah.
I wanna make sure we get it right more than they get a porch.
That's right.
So I think we'll carry it over. Everybody try to get out there, take a look, and then it'll still be here on the agenda for our meeting on September the 11th. And then at that point, we can decide whether we're setting a public hearing, dropping it, whatever we're doing. Correct? Okay, alright. Moving on to 08/08/23, public hearing set for August 28th, 2023 at 6 PM for consideration of a sign variance at 300 Oxmoor Road, Suite 101, Advance America. Wow, this sounds familiar.
Yes.
Did they come today?
Yes.
Oh, yes, okay, hey, we know last time there was a.
She's like,
transportation
an hour or
issue.
two, 2:20.
Yeah, okay, come on up, if you don't mind.
Just need the
Where's our
margarita
sign?
out.
Yeah, right.
She asked me at 4 what time the meeting was.
Oh, man.
Yeah, she's probably about to cry. Okay, if you don't mind, sign again, you do not have to put an item in. but just
4
let your
hours
name
later.
and company
Yeah,
on it.
exactly. Oh, no, you gotta stay.
Got that.
Thank you. Okay, do either one of you, Wyatt, do you wanna give us a preamble and then we can?
Okay, sure. So what it comes down to is, Advance America is replacing all their existing signage, but it's new signage being replaced. So because of that, it needs to comply with the sign ordinance. It comes down, there's 4 variances being requested. Number 1 is to allow a second wall sign. This is, let's see, this is showing
Is this in the Maya shopping center?
Yes,
This is
it
in the same
is.
shopping center, and this is on the end, the very last?
the very end where it's
Closest to
on the
Green
corner of
Springs?
Green Springs, yeah.
That's facing Green Springs.
Yeah,
This
okay,
is-
that's
yes,
facing Green
That's
Springs.
right, this is on Green Springs, right
Okay.
up here, there's another one, so
Okay, okay.
variance 1 would be to allow a second wall sign.
Okay.
Variance 2, allow a wall sign in a location other than a storefront. So they've got their allowable wall sign on the storefront over here.
Okay.
They wanna put one over here facing Green Springs.
Right.
3 is to permit, an item of sign copy to exceed 36 inches by 13.5 inches for a total of 49.5. So they're 49.5 inches for this thing right here,
Oh, just for that thing?
just for that thing.
So, just for the logo, so the Advance America, does that fit in?
Yeah,
to the
let's see.
36 inches?
It's too long.
It does, I don't see it labeled on here.
And,
I think it does, but
Okay.
anyway, I've got,
and Wyatt, are they, are all the signs illuminated?
yes.
everything, cause I
But
think
that-
everything, they can be
That's
eliminated
permitted,
on,
yes,
yeah.
that's correct. And then the next page shows the variance number 4. This is the one on the storefront, and it is, it's 44 inches proposed height here for this logo. So that would be, also another variance request for size.
All right, and so if so when you measure these, does the Advance America measure together, or do they measure individually?
No, they measure individually.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they comply.
Yeah, so the overall area of the wall sign is compliant.
It's just that one,
It's just this
that
one
character, okay.
item of copy.
Okay, all right, so we're looking at 4 variances, additional wall sign, size on 2 sides for the logo,
Yes.
and what was the other one?
And, allowing for a location other than a storefront.
Location of the storefront, okay. Okay, anybody have any questions?
A lot of signs.
You waited
Lots of
3
variances.
hours.
Lot of signs.
I mean, I get that they're obviously on a corner
Yeah.
building.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it makes sense,
But let me ask this, is there, there you go, sorry. Is there any way to make that, I mean, could y'all make the logo smaller so that it's not out of compliance? Cause that would that'd knock off 2 of y'all's,
To make the logo smaller, because they have a family art of certain sizes, we have to make it custom and wouldn't be cohesive with the other. We had a wave, in Alabama to rebrand all of their stores, this is the last one, and they wanna make that cohesive and consistent, so, and obviously with the square footage max, that is the biggest size we can get, the only thing that's stopping us is the logo per code. So to do that, we would actually have to downsize the entire sign in general, which would be a significant change. And it would be smaller than the current existing already sign that's been there since 2003, which doesn't like
I get it.
Still
I
lost
do.
it.
I think it's a
Just
no.
by comparison, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna
Councilman.
say, I mean, if, you know, he's, takes what he can get, I mean, if he gets it now.
I was about.
What would you rather have?
Yeah, I mean, I would suggest by the public hearing, have some options, because we've said no to stuff before, so.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
As long, they're really more concerned with, to my understanding, that they can still have a secondary sign on the side elevation on that secondary frontage road. Cause according to this new code, we're only allowed 1.
Right.
And they should work with us on that.
So if we could maybe compromise, I could propose the design team to make it smaller,
Yeah.
and they can still get a secondary sign.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and listen, I understand the request for the secondary sign, since y'all do face 2 main roads, I get it. But I think there should probably maybe on the client's part have a willingness to compromise based on our sign ordinance. And if he really wants the signs, my guess is he should probably be ready to make a compromise, because the fact is, if it gets turned down, he gets nothing. So it's probably worth his while to compromise to make that work.
An option to design.
Okay.
It'll still be under, like this one right here is still under the parent, right, it's still in the square footage max, 3 square foot, but in 1 linear foot. It's really just the height of that logo, and we don't wanna customize it to make it really small, but we will definitely propose it.
Okay.
And we'll see where we go from there.
Okay.
As
I
long
would,
as they get their second sign.
Okay.
I would also like, I mean, from my opinion, I would also like to know what the preference is on the Green Springs or the Oxmoor signage, because, I mean, I think even because if it is the Green Springs signage, and that's a placement other than the storefront, I'd still wanna know if that's the preferred location, because in my opinion, just to be consistent with what we're doing with some of the other businesses, like Ace Hardware, for example, they don't have a sign, on the side.
But they didn't
and-
ask for one either.
They didn't, but I mean, if
They
you
could
do
have.
this, they could come back and ask for it. So I mean,
Right.
and we're also looking at signage overall in the corridor. So I would like to know, you know, while you're having these discussions, what the preferred location is, if it's on Green Springs or if it's on.
Well, it sounds
Oxmoor.
like to me, they don't really they want both, that's what it sounds like
Well,
to me,
They
yeah.
want the-
That's what I'm hearing too,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah,
If they
it'd
had
be
to
good to know
decide,
the
I think
preferred.
they'd want the side elevation, cause it's on that main road, that's what you see when you're driving down that road.
Right.
Per landlord though, he requires a sign on the front elevation, and the landlord did approve of these renderings, so, yeah, that's where we're at with that, client and landlord.
Yeah, no, that's good additional insight, yeah, thanks.
So definitely I would just try to make a point with him that have some flexibility in terms of what he might be willing to do, just based on getting something approved, as opposed to not getting it that might affect the number of variances that they're requesting. Okay, so motion from Ms. Andrus to approve without recommendation, to send out without recommendation pending the public hearing on August 28th at 6 PM, and.
Second.
Second.
Oh, second from Sims, all right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, 5-0. So that'll be in public hearing on your, okay, and if you, in the meantime,
thanks
if y'all
for your
come up with
patience
something
with that. I'm
else,
sorry, I know.
yeah, and I'm
It's
so
a
sorry.
long
Just, you can send whatever, if there's new stuff, send it to Wyatt, he'll make sure we get to see it. That was Anderson Sims, yes, 5-0, to send it without recommendation. Okay, 09/08/23, public hearing set for August 28th, 2023, 6 PM for consideration of sign variance at 2844 18th Street South, Howell Family LLC, Once Upon a Time, White Pew.
Mr. Howell apologized, he's unable to make it, so he requested to drop it, he's gonna reapply.
Motion to drop.
Motion to
Second.
drop from Ms. Andrews, second from Mr. Allen, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Can we just talk about
5-0
it
to
some
drop.
anyway?
Woo!